size. I'm less than 17. I found the beast of Bendon, lost and alone. And with my father's hands, I will take the throne. On the cross, I count the bones. Heaven alone has fallen. I feel the loss of magic souls, and I hear Merlin calling. We must strive for my demise, fixing my flesh I reeked in. The samurai can hear the cries, my cousin's eyes are bleeding. Oh, see them coming when the dust disappears. I found the beast of Bendon in the misty field, and with my mother's eyes, I blessed the 17. I found the beast of Bendon, lost and alone, and with my father's hands, I will take the throne. I found the beast of Bendon in the misty field, and with my mother's eyes, I blessed the 17. I found the beast of Bendon, lost and alone, and with my father's hands, I will take the throne. Found the beast of Bendon in the misty field, and with my mother's eyes, I blessed the 17. I found the beast of Bendon, lost and alone, and with my father's hands, I will take the, I will take the, I will take the, I will take the throne.
Hello, bass players. We're looking at a 3-channel bass preamp with DI out, which pretty much is normal for bass preamps. We're looking at the Revolt UPS. So, bass preamp. And they're all kind of, I mean, they have to have a DI out. And for bass preamps to have DI outs that are analog, totally normal. I wish it had the capability to load IRs or dynamic IRs. Two Notes suggests, of course, use the Cab M+, which is a great idea because that thing kicks freaking ass. But if you have the technology in-house, the argument that they're saying, well, you know, of course, it would have made it more expensive. I get that. But then it also would have made it kick-ass. I think the way that companies should develop product is not necessarily to only look at a price point, but get everyone together in the meeting room, and then you say, what feature should it have? Should it have this built in? Should it not have it built in? Blah, 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 blah. Independent of price. And if everyone lifts their hand saying, yeah, that would be a kick-ass product, if everyone in the company is full on behind the features, they're going to sell the living shit out of it. looking at where it sits in the market price point wise, I get it. You have to look at that, but I just wish there was a way to load up what this thing can do into it, which is also why I'm refusing to show this in this video, because that way they're pretty much making every Revolt video a Cab M Plus video. So when it comes to using IRs, which technically for bass isn't that necessary, I think, I'm going to use a different product, just to let you know, Two Notes, who are, by the way, paying me for this. So let's look at it right here. It's all black, and realistically, it's a version improvement of the Le Bass, which they had years ago. Now we got a clean channel, classic clean. And I think for rocky stuff, that's all good. And I think that's primarily where Two Notes sits. When it comes to flexibility with the EQ on the clean side, they don't hold a candle to Dark Glass and the Micro Tunes, whatever it's called, because it's got a 4-band EQ, really tweakable. This has a 2-band EQ. It is a more simple clean tone. However, if you're using these, and this is why you're buying this, then your clean tone probably isn't that important to you. So what all I'm saying is, this is probably geared towards, the heavier guys. Not like me, heavy, but it's got a tube, or le tube, as they say. I don't know. There's a vintage dirt channel sharing the 3-band EQ, gain and volume. And then there's a modern channel sharing the 3-band EQ, gain and volume. And for the modern channel, you have a dry wet. You don't have that for the vintage dirt, which is fine. Now, you can see MIDI in out. So if we look at the back, it actually comes with one of those MIDI cables that plugs in here. So switching channels and stuff like this is fully MIDI-fiable, so you could easily have this somewhere in the back of your rack and just switch it with a MIDI switcher from the front of the stage. Now, this could be, of course, the last thing on your pedal board. However, my appeal would be, if you're a bass player, why do you have a pedal board? I'm sorry to say that. I know. I wish, however, that this was kind of like a one-stop shop solution, and in that case, at least for over here, I would like a compressor. I know you can wire a compressor into it and make it part of your pedal board and have a compressor and a tuner and all that stuff. For bass, me personally, when I play bass, which I do live quite a bit, I'm actually looking for kind of the one thing that does it all for me. So at least a push button to add compression, one setting would have been nice. Now, if we look at the back, we can actually see there's a bass in, send, return, and out. This is a ground lift, which we need to have. And these enable you to, of course, wire in effects behind the preamp section. Go out without the speaker simulation, which is applied here, but also wire it into your existing amp, which realistically, I'm not going to do here. Most bass players, I would assume, are playing ampless nowadays, especially when you have in-ear monitoring. But what this allows you to do is wire it in, which means when it's bypassed like this, your preamp in your amp is in effect. This thing is completely out of the chain. It just passes the signal through. And then you can now use this clean preamp. Your amp's preamp is gone. And the other two, which realistically makes your bass amp, if it's a 1-channel amp, a 4-channel amp, which is kind of very, very nice. However, for bass, I don't see it as much as for the guitar version, which of course we have here as well. So, if you wanted to run a cab on stage, you could add like a Seymour Duncan power stage or something similar to it and run this into a cab. What else am I forgetting? Okay, yeah, so on the front, you can turn the 4-cable method on and off. We have it off now because we don't use that. There's an aux in, so you can wire up your phone or whatever you want and actually practice with it, which is great because the speaker simulation is attached or applied to the headphone out right there. And right here, you can turn the cab sim on and off, and that is only applied to the XLR on the back. So if you wanted to run DI, do that. And then you can actually use the wall of sound that comes with it, the software. You can download the software. You get a full lifetime license when you buy the Revolt and use that. And there's also some cabs you get with it for free. And then, of course, you can buy any extra cab that you want. So there is a digital solution, but only for the DAW, not for the pedal board. If you wanted that, you need to buy this or any similar box. And now we're going to get some sounds. I'm using this MV4JB. Harley Benton, because it's got a fucking awesome color and it's a cool bass. So, and it's passive. And this is what it sounds like directly into the DAW. I'm actually going into the X4 from Universal Audio, but nothing applied to it there, of course. I'm going to say what I think, which is why they're paying me for my opinion, not to have a love fest for this thing. Realistically, in my experience with the Revolt bass, whenever you turn the clean off, sounds better. I wouldn't buy it for the clean side. Realistically, I really wouldn't. I mean, it has a little bit less bass and is more mid-focused, but I kind of prefer that. That's more bass now. Since there's nothing I can do in the mids. Nothing. A switch, a boost, nothing. I mean, see it as it gives you an alternative sound. You're not buying it for the clean. And that works. Okay, this is not why you get it. This is why you get it. Because now it gets dirty. Oh, here we go. got beautiful grit, beautiful dirt. That is just perfect to give you that AMPETE kind of driving sound without actually distorting. So we could, of course, EQ that down. Obviously not. Nice. And obviously full gain there. Nice and dynamic. And of course, the ridiculous drive. So let's go ridiculous here. That's of course for the metal people. Great thing is you can mix it in. And just like that, you have brutal sounds that still have all the bass information that you need in a mix. Because just distorting a bass means usually you can't get it out of a mix and all the actual bass is gone. But this is where it's at. This is what you, of course, have to have. Let's check it out with some IRs, straight IRs. I'm using the Impulse from TC Electronic, which is ultra simple. Nothing you can do. You can literally just load up some IRs and switch to them and make them loud. And that's really all you can do. Don't know if I would do that because this DI out is great, but let's check it out. Obviously, if you want the real greatness and the real flexibility and Bluetooth ability and app control and everything you want, buy this. But I'm not going to show it to you because I'm an ass. So there's really only 2 bass caps in there, but that should be fine. exactly what I expected. Way too bassy and... But kind of cool, actually. Next one. Oh, that's funny. And all the bass is gone. That's lacking low end. So, I mean, if you ask me, do you really need IRs for bass? I personally think that the analog D-out is absolutely fine here. When I record bass, in studio sessions, I record analog, just the bass, and actually put some distortion on later, but there's no cab sim at all. So I think what they put in there is more than fine. If you want more control, load yourself up some IRs or get this. That being said, full disclosure, something like the Micro Rock, the Dark Glass thing, in their version 2s, they do have USB connectivity and you can load IRs directly into them. They are pretty good boxes. I think they're more than this. I think they're a little bit different, especially because the EQ is more tweakable, but this is also more brutal. But it depends. There's the Alpha Omega. Dark Glass has a lot of stuff. I do like this. This has a simplicity that's beautiful. 3 channels, and especially the tube thing. How much does the tube matter? It might be a thing up here, but whatever. Make it big. Let's see. So I don't think we should, and I don't think we can compare this to this, because in the guitar world, you have different needs. In the bass world, you have different needs than the guitar. Whereas in the guitar, it becomes part of my rig and there's lots of periphery around it. Here, I'm looking at the Revolt Bass as I would like it to be everything for me. Yes, of course, you can put it on a pedal board, but I would prefer to actually put this in my gig bag. It comes with a power supply, by the way, 12 volt something. And just run my bass into it, and that's all I'm doing. Of course, it is a great practice tool and all that stuff. Or running DI, recording that, running a go to 4 cable method, go out of send and record a total dry signal and have different options to treat later. All these things are there. Now, I have tested quite a few bass preampy things like this. There's something from AMPETE, there's something from Trace Elliott, Laney, I think I did. And I find this highly usable. I really do. I am a big fan of the Dark Glass boxes, a little bit smaller than this, but you can also go down a rabbit hole of fiddling with the EQ and then all of a sudden not getting out of that hole anymore. Whereas here, it's a very straightforward 3-band EQ, 2-band EQ. I wish the clean side was a bit more flexible. It's on the EQ side, but also maybe a compressor or something like this. Of course, they're going to say, well, put pedals on it. But again, I'm looking for a standalone solution when it comes to bass. Whereas with guitar, I don't. Where it sits in the market price-wise, fair. Absolutely fair. I mean, come on, it's got MIDI, 4-cable method, aux in, headphone out, XL out. I mean, it's bass. It's got to have XL out, okay? That's not a great feature on a bass product. That's a mandatory feature. Realistically, it works, and I think it's fairly priced compared to the competition. If you're looking for something like this, check it out. Check out the competition. Buy the one you like the most. Hope this was useful. I'll put links below. Please use them. That really, really helps. Support me on all the socials. That really helps. You know how it is nowadays. You're only worth as much as you have followers, which is very sad, but that's the truth. And we'll put animals at the end.
One fleeting look in my arm, you know that something is wrong. Ain't got a story to tell, no creature swallowed hell. All the ink in your skin, reflecting what lies within. I like your snake and